right. I think we're also still waiting for Mark.
Yeah, I think he popped into his office.
Okay. Perfect. And I think Kell is out, so I think that Mark was going to be covering community development.
But I think either way, it's probably a pretty simple one. I think we should interview.
I think so too. I don't.
No,
Does anyone?
I don't know that I need a full briefing to end up at wanting to interview.
Right. I would agree. Commissioner Sutherland?
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Well, that was quick and easy. So we'll let Mark know.
We're almost back on time.
Yay. So Mark, we've decided that we would all like to interview. So that takes care of community development.
Well, perfect. I was supposed to cover that for Kell because she wasn't feeling good today. So thank you for covering for me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Easy. Easy. So if we could have them just schedule an interview, we'll be good to go. All right, so now we're down to public health. Do we have Melissa or Dave?
Good morning, Commissioners. I think you got both of us.
And Melissa, woohoo.
Yeah. All right, take it away.
Okay, I don't know which order this is. First item should be our WIC amendment. So the state has extended our contract for WIC. It was originally supposed to end at the end of December for us to complete hiring and training. They've extended it through the end of February. Really exciting. Our new coordinator started today. So I spent the morning onboarding with her. And we're pretty confident that we'll be able to start serving clients on our original timeline. So probably mid-February to early March. So just looking for approval on that amendment.
Absolutely. And yes, it's exciting.
Yeah, good with me. That's great.
Yep.
Okay. Second item is a contract with Capital Region ESD 113. They administer the Youth Cannabis and Commercial Tobacco Prevention Program, YCCTPP. These are the dollars that fund our prevention with youth coalitions and schools. So they're contracting with us for $21,333 through the end of June 2024 to do this work. So we're just looking for approval to sign that contract.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Yeah, good with me as well.
Thank you. That's all I've got this morning.
All right. That's awesome. Commissioners, do you have anything for Dave and his team?
I can give an update real quick on the contract with Mott McDonald. We were just finishing up the last few appendices on that study that will close out our MOA with the tribe. So working on that, we should have that this week and to the commission.
Very cool.
Okay. The other thing is COVID is back.
Did it ever go away?
Yeah, I'm not sure that it ever went away, but it's on an uptick. It's certainly within the county employees. We're starting to see an uptick within our own departments. So just be aware that it's out there, and it's really pretty simple. If you test positive, stay home for 5 days or until symptoms improve, and you're fever free for 24 hours, and then back to work for 5 days with a mask. So nothing on that end has changed. I just want to put that back out there again.
I'm seeing that other one with everybody, that
RSV is out there too. And
yeah,
you'll notice the difference between the two. The RSV has a really wet, heavy cough. That it definitely sounds different than the COVID. But if you've got something like that going, get a test, find out what you've got. We still have the tests available here, and they're free, and I've ordered some more. And so go ahead and get tested.
And just understand, if you're sick, those little cloth masks are not going to stop everybody else from getting sick. Stay home.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I see somebody with it now. I already know what's happening. I just kind of stay away from it. It's just not necessary. If you're sick and you know you're sick, why? Just stay home. Stay away from everybody. Give us all a break.
Yeah. So if anybody needs supplies, just let us know.
All right, sounds good. That's a good reminder. If you're sick, stay home. We don't want it.
Yep.
We don't want it. I don't care what it is. I don't want it.
Well, that's the only way we'll really actually control it. Is if you stay home and don't get others sick.
Right. Yeah. All right. Anything else, Dave?
No, that should do it for me.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you too.
All right, so I don't see Loretta. They're not back up in their office yet. So let's go ahead with support services.
Perfect. So we have a levy recertification. You there, Jen?
Yes, so we had Grapeview School District turned in a lower levy than what they had originally. So we're asking to recertify the levies to the county assessor. This does not take a public hearing, it's just a resolution. So I would like to ask that we put this on the agenda for tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Me.
Perfect, thanks. And the next thing that I have is the November financials, so I will share my screen. Okay, so beginning on page 2 of the packet, we have the revenue for current expense. We have collected so far through November $43,254,704. The budget is $42,817,000. We've collected 101% of our budgeted revenues. Last year at this time, we had received $42,820,000, and we had collected 105% of our budgeted revenue. Any questions on any of that or comments?
Nope.
Okay, just
So are we on track would you say that we're on track at the end of the year to collect like 110% of what we budgeted, or more than that, Jen?
I don't think it would be 110, probably more like 105 roughly.
Oh,
I
okay.
think December is a super big collection month typically. A lot of times, I mean, we're hurrying up, finishing our grant billing for the year, that sort of thing. But I mean, the property tax collections have come in. I think sales tax is kind of large, but of course not, a hugely large number in December. So yeah, I would guess about 105, I believe, somewhere.
Okay, so 2 million more than what we kind of expected
Yeah, probably.
or budgeted. Great, thank you.
Okay. For the treasurer's revenue detail, so we've collected 29,808,000 compared to last year. We had collected 30,760,000, and we're at 105% of our budgeted revenue within the treasurer's office. Compared to this point at last year, we were at 114%. So we had under budgeted quite a bit last year in the treasurer's revenue. I don't know if there's anything worth noting in here that I haven't already done in previous briefings. Of course, we haven't done we didn't do any levy shift. We lowered the diversion. So that, of course, is a big reason why our revenue is a little lower than last year. On the expenditures for the general fund, we have expended through November $40,805,854. We've expended 85% of our total budget through November compared to last year. We expended $37,045,746, and we had expended 84% of our total budget, so we're pretty well on track there. Tomorrow we have our budget amendments for the end of the year, so that'll help to increase the budget authority for some of the departments that are getting pretty close or over. I don't see anybody over at the end of November. The special fund and 6-year recap. So through November, we were up in community development revenues, which is great. Our rural sales and use tax fund is up just a little bit. Our filings are down, lodging tax is up, and then our REIT 1 and 2 are down compared to the previous few years. More in line with somewhere between 2019 and 2020 revenues for REIT 1 and 2. So moving on to the county sales tax, and in your packets, this says October. We'll change that to November. Sorry about that. Before it goes on the website. So we have collected in sales tax at the end of November, $8,758,000, and we're on track to receive about $9.6 million. So in our collections for November are down a little bit, and October was down as well compared to the previous year. So I would expect that December will probably be down a little bit too. So we'll probably not collect quite 9.6 million, but close. On the 6-year financial recap, our cash at the end of November is $29,285,000 roughly. Remember that there's about 800,000 of that LATCF funds sitting in there. And then you can see all of our reserves here. And we have stated that the LATCF is going to be spent on building 10. Is that still the plan? Okay. We're at, again, 101% of our total revenue collections in the general fund and 85% of our budgeted expenditures. And then our cash balances in our other funds are $59,108,000 roughly at the end of November. Any questions on that or comments before we move on?
Oh,
Moving on to the motor pool summary, we have budgeted 1.711 million, and we have expended 1.34 million at the end of November. We're at 78.3% of our budget, and we do have some vehicles coming in December, so I would expect that December would be a little bit higher on the capital upfits. But we're looking pretty good there. On the special fund revenues, we have received $54,987,000, and we've budgeted $60,622,000. We're at 91% of our budgeted revenues, and last year we were at 70%. And I think that's just because we had a couple of funds where we had budgeted a lot more revenues, like the Skoke and welfare, sewer. So that kind of skewed those numbers a little bit. Last year we were at 56,239,000 or 240,000, closer to that we have received. And the expenditures for the special and other funds, we've expended out through November, 49,596,000 compared to the previous year, 41,768 or 67,000 roughly. And we're at 65% of our budgeted expenditures this year compared to 48% last year. And that's all I have for you unless you have any questions.
None from me. Well done.
Thank you. And I'll stop sharing. Okay.
Gonna take myself off mute. All righty. So Mary, are you here to talk a little bit about your contract?
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
So I wanted to brief this morning on the January 23 to, or actually, no, let's just say January 24, my bad, to December 27 collective bargaining agreement for local 252 and county juvenile detention. All exclusive representatives, we've reached a tentative agreement. Oh, there I have it right, 24 to 27 term. I feel like this was a really collaborative process, working with the Teamsters group again, and moving this to the action agenda so we can make sure all our contracts are on time and nothing's expired. And this will be the first time, I think, in a long time that we've made it to that state. So that's really exciting as a county. And then in 24, we have only 3 contracts opening. And so moving to these 4-year terms with our partners, our union partners, has really benefited not only my team, but also the county as a whole, I believe. So it was a really great negotiations process, and just wanted to move this to the action agenda for tomorrow if possible.
Sounds good to me. Commissioners?
I'm supportive.
I'm as well. Great job, Mary and team.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mary, thank you. Next item is lobbying services. So Deborah Mungia is our current lobbyist, and our contract with Deborah ends at the end of this year. I'd like to bring it before the commissioners to extend it out for 2 additional years. So this would be through December 31st, 2025.
I am supportive.
As am I.
As
Did
am
a
I.
great job
She's done a
for
good
us.
job.
Yeah, thanks, Sharon. I feel like she's done a good job, so it's been nice having her there. I'm looking to see if I see, I see Loretta and Richard are back. So would you like to
Yeah, let's
maybe
go.
have some updates or discussion, or do you want to go back?
Let's go back to Public Works, and then we'll have our discussions after Public Works, if that's okay with the other commissioners. Alrighty.
All right, morning, commissioners.
Hello again.
Hello, no action items this morning for you, but some updates and just some things coming up on the calendar. So first up for update is to share with you the project status on the Belfair Sewer Extension project. And Richard has some great photos and schedule and a financial tally to share with you.
Okay, as soon as I get this moved over. All right, let me share my screen. I hope I can. Oh, great. There we go. All right. Hopefully you can see that.
Yep.
Is it scrolling too?
Yep.
All right.
Good job.
So there you can see, here's our schedule, and it's really blurry on my end. I hope it isn't on yours.
No, it's pretty.
It is.
Pretty big, I guess. So you can see we're getting close to wrapping up. Most of the site's been paved already. The tunneling's done. They're just doing electrical. We're hoping to have startup at the pump station and training in 2 days. So that's pretty exciting stuff. And they'll accomplish that, being able to do that. We're going to fill the lift station up with water and make a loop. We'll pump up to a manhole that feeds back into it, so we can do some performance testing on the pumps and get that lined out. And we'll have training on the emergency generator as well. So things are wrapping up pretty quickly. we'll get right to money. I gotta admit, I did not put this together, but it'll show you the funding, the sources, what we've spent out of each fund so far, and what's still available and remaining. I'll go to the third one down, the Commerce Grant. That was for the initial design, scoping, and general sewer plan. That's kind of what that money is for, and it's that we did pretty good. $11,000 left out of nearly 500,000. As far and the grant, that was actually for the design and engineering services during construction. On the top line, there's still it appears to be like $208,000 left in that contract to take that down quite a bit as well. So there'll be a little less than $400,000 or $300,000 left over there. And we used up, thank you for the ARPA. We definitely put that to use. And so you can see what we have left is we've got 1.95 as a loan so far with I think it's $208,000 or it's $251,000 still to be added into that loan amount. So really, all said and done, you can see how much we've got into this project, and I think 80 or 16% of that. Oh God, I'll have to back up. I got that confused. I'm sorry. Anyway, never mind on my percentages. I didn't have that well thought out. I won't misspeak. So here it is, your beautiful pump station. It doesn't look like a lot. You can't see the pumps are in the ground. You can't see them. So you can see this is our emergency generator. You got some bollards here. There'll be some electrical control panels. They had not been installed when this was taken. At that time, we didn't want them to disappear before we got them all wired up and put to use. This is the, you can see all those cool conduits going into this. This is where the wet well is. This is where the pumps will be. And so those are for all your different powers for your pumps and your monitoring level devices and alarm points all run through those conduits. Looking down that on the left, that is where the two pumps will be. Right between them is a 4-inch pipe that will be, that'll be coming from somewhere. Well, I'm not exactly sure. And then to the right of that, you can see another green pipe. That is another pipe that's coming in that'll help fill that manhole or help fill this pump station up. And the picture on the right is looking down into our valve vaults. And of course, you have your safety devices here. When you do open the vault, you have to have so you don't fall in inadvertently. The exciting part, tunneling under the Navy rail. This was actually, I mean, it was really cool. I'd never been part of a project like that, so it was pretty interesting for me to be a part of, and it went way faster than I expected. So it was done in a couple of weeks. Wow. It took them a little bit to get started, but you can see this picture here. This is where the insertion pit is, and that is back here behind this. That's where this guy, he's loading in and out. He's taking out the buckets of debris that get removed by the bore and taken out, and it actually came out. You can't even see it, probably like 30 feet beyond the bottom of the picture. A heck of a long bore. And you can see here on the left, that was the bore head making its way through. So it was rather interesting. I'm glad we didn't come into any 4-foot cobbles like there was a rumor we would.
So that's a mini Bertha.
It's a little mini Bertha, yes. I like the turtle.
Baby Bertha.
And this road, this picture on the left, that is like our access easement to maintain the pipeline. That's where our pipeline actually runs. That's not the emergency vehicle access for the community up on top of the hill there. This is specifically where our pipeline runs. And you can see here on the right, this is pretty much the terminus of our pipeline out in front of Mason Transit, near Log Yard Road. Any questions?
No, that's cool. I think, commissioners.
Yeah, great presentation, Richard. Thank you.
You bet.
It looks like the pictures were taken on a very nice day.
Yes, it was. And then commissioners will, last time we talked about getting some time on the books in another month or so to have a ribbon cutting. So we'll check calendars and get ready for that.
You know, never before I was a commissioner did I think that I would be so excited about sewer.
It's pretty exciting stuff. Richard gets very excited.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's been a good project. It's gone very smoothly.
It's good to show people now. Everybody's excited to see this stuff now, but after it gets in use, I really don't get that many takers who want to come look at it.
Well,
Not
fun.
shiny and new anymore. Yeah.
there's a different smell.
That's right.
I don't know, because I'm on the Public Works Board, this stuff is just, I don't know, might call me a nerd or something, but this stuff is so interesting. If people really want to take a look at how crap works, I would encourage you to get a hold of our Public Works team and they can show you how amazing it is. So.
Well, and it's been interesting, all the disciplines that are involved in putting together just a simple pump station. So the electricians, PUD, fiber, obviously specialized masonry, on and on and on. It's just, yeah, it's lots of crafts, lots of trades that are involved in a relatively small project, really. So it's been interesting from that standpoint as well, and fun. All right. Next, unless there's anything else on the Belfair Sewer Project, commissioners, I'll move on to utility rates. And we also, this is another scheduling item, commissioners, we needed to reset a workshop on the utility rate study session. And so we'll again get with Mackenzie to check calendars and get that as soon as possible and update our schedule accordingly. Other progress that's been happening, Stephanie has worked with CAMS and put together an update on our invoicing. So we've got a template and a model and a letter to go out to ratepayers, and that'll be part of what you'll be looking at, is what does the communication look like to our folks about water meters, and a mock-up of a new bill. So it explains what a new bill would look like in the future. So Stephanie, awesome, great work on her part in putting that together and having that ready to go. So that's been accomplished as well. And then we still have meters that we have high reads, and our utility personnel are going out and looking at all of those individual cases to see if it's a meter issue, if it's a consumption issue, if it's a leak, what's going on. So they're working through a list of multiple property owners to tuss all that out as well. Richard, am I missing anything else on steps and activities on the utility rate work?
Nope. Like the biggest one for us is just running all these to ground and verifying that what we're reading and what we're documenting is accurate.
Reality.
Yeah.
Yep. Questions, commissioners?
Not for me.
All right. And then the next up, development review, a request for qualifications is out on the street. And that will wrap up. I think submittals are due the first week in January. So our engineering personnel will get on sorting that out and getting a engineering firm under contract to help with our overflow on review of new development proposals.
That's
I'm
cool.
not- Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Very excited for that.
Mhm.
All right. And then commissioner follow-up items. Mike's not ready to present on what our game plan is yet on outreach, but commissioners just wanted to make sure we're not losing track of this. And I know that our team is working on that outreach, and we'll bring that back for you to take a look at and make sure we're on the same page about what we're wanting to hear back from constituents at these two locations. And definitely, if you've got some specific thoughts one way or the other, please don't hesitate to reach out to Mike or myself, and we'll make sure and bake that into our inquiries.
That sounds good.
So are we actually sending a request for a response to folks that live in this area, or?
That's part of what we're thinking about, Mark, is certainly out at Beeville, we could do like a direct mail and then point them to maybe either an online survey or a mail-in survey, or and then same thing with Island Lake. But I think the questions and potential solutions, that one in my mind is a little bit more in depth, I guess, if you will. Probably sharing some background information. Well, both of them, we would be sharing background information and then asking for feedback back from the community. Definitely, well, I know we've had good response with either the scans for the QR or pointing people to our website. But often in some of these, definitely out Beeville, I know in certain areas it's tough to either get internet access or be able to respond that way. So I think oftentimes just the ability to mail in a response also is an option as well.
And the other thing maybe out for the Beeville loop outreach, might be worth having something out at the Grange.
Yeah. Just
an in-person thing there, because I know we're doing the study with, kind of evaluating. Is it with Trouts Unlimited? Is that?
Yeah, they have the agreement to, or the grant to be able to look at up and downstream reaches and solutions, a little bit broader in scope than our particular issue of just, do we replace the bridge there or not? Yeah, they have more habitat restoration goals up and downstream.
Yeah, so it might be worth considering a mailing and or something in person at the Grange.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we'll follow up with Trout Unlimited and see what their schedule is on the broader scope as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys working on that. Thank you.
You bet. And that's all we have, commissioners.
Commissioners, anything for Loretta and team?
Yeah, just a quick question, Loretta. So there were a couple of slides on 106 over the weekend.
Yes.
And just kind of curious if you've heard anything from DOT. I know the road's reopened, but if they're going to be out in the area continuing to work on those, or just kind of what you're hearing. If you can follow up with a phone call or email, that's fine if you don't have anything at the moment.
Yeah, last I saw was, let's see. Late Friday, closing 106 due to the slide. I believe it's reopened, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't know if if they were going to be back out working on that at any point, or
Oh, I see. Yeah, as far as
utility
more of a,
and so.
yeah, they're kind of repeat locations, right? I'll do a quickie screen share here, commissioners. There's a photo from DOT of the slide itself. One photo anyway.
At least it wasn't where all the residents were and stuff, like it was years ago. Was it
Right.
we're out there with shovels digging people's driveways and front doors out? And
Yeah.
And it's king tide right now too, so
Yes, it is.
remind everybody to be very careful.
Yeah. All right, I will check in and report back on what their long-term plan or short-term plan is there.
Commissioners, would you want an update maybe for tomorrow for our regular meeting?
Well, I don't need that in particular. I mean, it could just be an email.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Anything else?
For me.
Okay, I know your guys are also are awesome and very busy.
That they are.
Yeah.
Thank you, commissioners.
All right, thank you. All right. So before everybody leaves, I wanted to just let people know that since this is Christmas week-ish, tomorrow's pajama day. Yeah, I'm everybody wears pajamas tomorrow.
Careful.
Did you check with Mary on that?
They don't have to be.
yeah.
Or wear a Christmas shirt, something like that. Let's just get in the holiday spirit. I think it's fun.
All right.
The silence is a little alarming.
Well, I want everybody to be, really thoughtful about how they approach that. Santa is on his way, so we don't want anybody to end up on the HR naughty list ahead of Christmas.
There's just so much I can't even say it right now. Don't worry, Mary, I'm not talking.
Hear no evil, see no evil.
You were wise not to attend the party. Yeah.
Oh, it was fun. All right.
HR is lonely. Just stay in our building.
All right, commissioners, do we have anything else?
Feels like that's enough.
You're welcome.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, we're adjourned. We'll see everybody tomorrow at 9.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.